Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. Today we noticed some price volatility on NVIDIA. According to my assessment yesterday, I was not expecting big movement on NVIDIA today. So today's movement is perfectly aligned with my yesterday expectation. In this video, we will further assess the situation and try to make some prediction regarding price movement of Nvidia stock. And we'll also discuss FOMC meeting minutes and its impact on Nvidia and other AI stocks. Let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, Nvidia opened at 127.32. It made a high 129.35. It made a low 126.66 and it closed at 128.50. That is 0.98% up. So you can see that how Nvidia moved today, lots of volatility and ups and down, no clear direction. In my opinion, there are two reasons behind it. One, the earnings date is coming. So before the earnings, historically speaking, Nvidia showed some volatility. And also the FOMC meetings today, and also the minutes of FOMC meeting today. So that kind of added some extra volatility in the market. And we can also notice the price volatility on the major indices. For example, S&P, you can see the movement for today, lots of ups and downs, no clear direction. And also Nasdaq, you see, in the morning we had some upward pressure, then gone down, and then again went up and then closed around 0.57% up. So lots of volatility within the same day. And also Dow Jones, similar behavior, ups and down, no clear direction. But the good thing is Nvidia closed positive today. So this tells that positive momentum is still with Nvidia at this point. Moving on, last 5 days, Nvidia up 8.01%. Last 1 month, Nvidia up 4.01%. And last 6 months, Nvidia up 90.46%. So going up in a very short amount of time. You see the elevation? That's good. We haven't seen this kind of elevation in last 6 months. Now, let's take a look FOMC meeting minutes for today. So these are the minutes of the meeting that they released today afternoon. And I made some highlights in this document. So regarding inflation, overall, it looks to me they are confident that inflation is going down. For example, they mentioned here near-term inflation compensation fell over the inter-meeting period. Longer-term forward measures were little unchanged. And also, if we further search for the inflation, and also here they mentioned that the total and the core PC inflation expected to decline further and their target of 2% by 2026. So this tells that they are not expecting to reach 2% anytime soon. So that's a good thing. And also here they're talking about their confidence on the inflation numbers. It says that the participants judged that the recent data had increased their confidence that inflation was moving substantially toward 2%. That's another good sign. And regarding the inflation upside, the risk has gone down. They mentioned that the upside risk to the inflation outlook were seen as having diminished. And regarding the overall economy and the labor market, they also look confident that it's moving in the right direction. For example, they mentioned here the recent indicators suggested that the economic activity had continued to expand at a solid pace. Job gains had moderated and the unemployment rate had moved up but remained low. And also, they mentioned here regarding economic activity that the conditions in the labor market had eased. So overall, regarding inflation, the job market, and the economy, looks to me that they have not raised any serious concern. And regarding the policy cut, they mentioned that they're expecting a rate cut starting from September. Take a look. It says policy expectation pointed to a first rate cut at the September FOMC meeting, at least one more cut later in the year, and further policy easing next year. So now, in clear words, that they are expecting the cut coming in September and also one more later this year. But the question is how much. They have not mentioned it's gonna be 25 basis point or 50 basis point. So that was all about some discussion regarding FOMC meeting minutes. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia. Nvidia forward P at this point is at 44.90, slightly higher than the last week closing, but is still higher than the last 7 weeks of average. So overall the trend is up. Palantir forward P is 95.71, slightly higher than the last week closing. So no major change from the last week. SMCI 19.63 versus last week 19.79. So again, no major change. AMD 44.08 and last week closing was 41.51. So this week has been good for AMD, more upside than other AI stocks. So regarding the price change, as we noted yesterday, I was expecting Nvidia to move between 114 and 143, and also mentioned that it's highly unlikely that Nvidia should break 114 before the earnings. So still I have the same opinion, but at this point Nvidia is trading around 128. I'm expecting some volatility and no major upside or downside tomorrow as well. So overall, historically speaking, the more towards the earnings date, the more volatility you can notice on Nvidia. So one day you might see Nvidia up, the next day you might see Nvidia down. So that's what happened in the last two earnings cycle. I'll show you in a bit. You see Nvidia price history on your screen. So the last column is adjusted close. Just focus on this column, okay? Let me go down. So last earnings happened on May 22nd. You can notice few days before the earnings, the volatility starting from May 16. You see 94.35. The next day it went down, and after that it went up, and again up a little bit, and then gone down before the earnings. The earnings happened in the afternoon. So before the earnings, the same day, Nvidia gone down in the last quarter. Now let's take a look one more quarter prior. The earnings happened on February 21. So you can notice few days before 72, then went up a little bit 73. The next day again gone down. The following day no major change, and then gone down before the earnings. The same day on the earnings also gone down. So we see the trend, before the earnings, lots of volatility. And just before the earnings, we see that Nvidia gone down in last two quarters. Now let's take a look technical charts for Nvidia. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia and also Fibonacci levels. So as we noted yesterday, the next level of support was 125.3. Nvidia is still moving around this level, right? And the next level of resistance is 140.56. So between 125 and 140, I do not see any major resistance. But I'm expecting some volatility between 125 and 140. It will take more days to reach 140, in my opinion. And you can notice that from 100 to 125, the speed was so fast, right? But after touching 125, you see the speed is slow. So you can notice that it's not moving with the same pace after touching 125. On the lower side, after 125, we have 115, a support level, and after that is 108. In my opinion, 115 is a very strong support level. So it won't be very easy for Nvidia to break it before the earnings. Now let's take a look MACD. So based on the MACD chart, we still see the positive momentum is there, but it's very slow. MACD line touched the zero line yesterday, but is still moving close to the zero line. So no big momentum I see on Nvidia at this point. Now let's take a look some news regarding Nvidia. So now let's take a look the very first one that says Nvidia will surprise to the upside, says EMJ's Eric Jackson. We started seeing some optimistic analysis regarding Nvidia before the earnings. So now let's take a look this one that says Nvidia fever stop rising, target shows consumer resilient, annual job revision may move market. So basically it says that we need to wait for the job report, right? And also Target showed a very good earnings report today and their stock was up. And that's what it's talking here. Let's take a look. The Target stocks is 11% up today. So they were able to beat EPS by 17.72%. That says HSBC raises Nvidia price target to 145 from 135. And that's a good thing. Another price target increase from New Street that says New Street Research adjusts Nvidia price target to 148 from 120. So two price target increase for Nvidia. And that's pretty common before the earnings. As you noted in the last quarter, we saw multiple price target increases for Nvidia before the earnings. So today I haven't seen any negative or depressing data or analysis regarding Nvidia. So that's good overall. Let's take a look other AI stocks. You see that almost all the AI stocks are up today. The major increase is in SoundHound, that is 4.28% up, and Microsoft, Avago, and Apple were negative today, but very slightly negative, probably about 0.1% overall. So, in general, today was a good day for the AI stocks. Let's take a look economic calendar for this week. So you see that today minutes of the Fed meeting that we talked about early in this video. Tomorrow we have weekly initial jobless claims, and that will be important. We have to take a look. On Friday, we see Mr. Powell's speech. So that speech may not be different from what he already said last month. So I don't see any major impact from Mr. Powell's speech. So that's all about NVIDIA analysis and assessment for today and rest of the week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.